Hey everybody, I'll make this quick. I haven't had a lot of videos up lately because it's been the end of the semester and the end of the year and all kinds of crazy stuff's happening. But given that I'm trying to focus on the darkest timeline of our existence, I felt like I kind of get past today without doing a short post. Impeachment is upon us. Winter is not coming, it is here. And who knows what that's going to mean. I think it's bad either way. If the Senate's not going to impeach Trump, they're not. They're all controlled by Mitch McConnell, and it's a loyalty contest at this point. They're shutting down witnesses and excluding evidence and trying to keep it as much of a controlled circus as possible. Say on the wild chance that the Senate goes through and goes forward with the impeachment. Does anybody think that all of a sudden Donald Trump's going to say, you know what, I respect the Constitution. Thank you for your time. Here's a peaceful transition of power. That nothing ever that has happened in the last 3 years, or really in the man's entire life, would indicate that that's going to be the case. And then on the chance that if he doesn't get impeached, we're going to be exactly where we are, just more disillusioned and more divided along partisan lines. I would say this in this moment: focus on facts. Facts are important. Don't focus on loyalty. You don't owe allegiance to a person or a party or even a political camp at all. Focus on facts and pray for peace, because we need it in our world right now. At our church at Kairos, we're spending the time of Advent just praying for peace. Peace in ourselves, peace in our families, with our neighbors, with our enemies, with the world. So I just say, look, engage facts, and then step away from politics as team mentality. I have found that there's very few people who approach politics differently than they approach the sports team. Their allegiance to the sports team. They're their team no matter what, even if they're the worst team in the world, and they'll be loyal and stick by them, which is cool. If it's basketball or soccer, baseball, doesn't really matter. There's no stakes involved at all. But on something like this, whether it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Communist, whatever, neocon, loyalty has no place in politics. Personal loyalties like this. Loyalties to ideas and convictions, sure. But for those of you that are conservatives supporting Trump, just take a few steps back. The man's not conservative at all. Nothing he's done is conservative, especially socially. And so for Christians, the social conservative values are the things that maybe do align with people's faith, where stuff like political conservatism or economic conservatism is it's not anywhere in the Bible. That's not it's not a matter of faith or religion. So take a few steps back. Ask yourself, if you were visiting from another planet or another country, what you would think if you just happen to come in and pop on the news today, or run into a random person and have a conversation with them. For Americans, we're all just in the thick of it, kind of in this mixed up stew, and everything's boiling and together, and it's hard to separate one thing from another. But if we take a step back, if we allow ourselves to have a little perspective, hopefully we'll have some clearer vision and better resolve and better reasons for voting for who we vote for, particularly for president. That goes for both sides of the fence too. And I'm not saying this to conflate the two. I don't think Democrats and Republicans are just two ends of the same pole. They're playing different games, and they're both playing games. The Democrats are playing a slightly more honorable game, but not much, not much. But they're not the same thing. But I am trying to just point out that this is not like a just I hate Republicans post. It's not that at all. I spoke to lots of people in 2008 and the few years after that about Obama. I was hopeful that he would bring change. He didn't bring the change we needed. He brought some change, but it wasn't very much. And again, he he's actually very much like Trump in some ways. Socially very, very liberal, and economically very, very conservative. Obama was a friend of big banks and Wall Street, and he did not do you or me any favors with his economic policies. So, but people really bought into it, not because they understood who he was as a politician or his policies, because to be honest, he didn't have a lot. In 2008, on his website and John McCain's, there was barely anything on either of their websites when you went to go look for policy and the things they stand for. So look past the fluff and look for some substance. Look past the flair and look for facts. And God bless.